Hello, everyone. It has been an incredible week of learning, inspiration, and connecting. It has been an honor to interact with attendees, speakers, and other girls across the world looking to pursue a STEM career. I hope that if you gain anything from this week, you gain the confidence to pursue any career you want. Before we end GirlCon 2021, we have two amazing keynote speakers to close off our conference.
On behalf of the entire GirlCon team, I would like to thank IBM for all of your continued support. Beyond sponsorship and speakers, we are thrilled to have Kelly Chambliss and Dixie Adams as our final keynote speakers. Kelly Chambliss is the managing partner of IBM Global Business Services, GBS, Americas.
Ms. Adams is the leader of Hybrid Cloud Services Americas, which is part of the IBM Services organization. Take it away, ladies.
Thank you very much, Chris and Ellie. It is a pleasure to be with all of you today. As Chris shared, I lead consulting, otherwise known as services, at IBM for the Americas, which is across the United States, Canada, and Latin America. My colleague and friend Dixie and I both live in Chicago and share a deep-rooted passion for creating opportunities for young women in STEM. Today, we will share some stories with you that we hope will inspire you as it relates to what is possible when you combine technology, creativity, and teamwork to solve problems. And over the past 15, 16 months, there have been a lot of important problems to solve. We will talk about some of the challenges associated with COVID-19 and the important role that technology played and will continue to play in building a more resilient and adaptable planet and positioning people to thrive. We will then have some time for questions if you have any. Every single aspect of life changed as a result of the pandemic. The pandemic disrupted school, where and how people work, shopping, travel, and even affected and impacted what we bought when everything was out, from cleaning supplies to laptops to Diet Dr. Pepper, my personal favorite. Everything, it seemed, was out of stock due to supply chain challenges. While almost everything was impacted, technology played a really, really critical role as it relates to fighting through those challenges and making life better for people. There were engineers, doctors, developers, project managers, consultants, graphic designers working tirelessly to keep the world running, and most importantly, to save lives. On this page is just a really small sample of the headlines that we've seen over the last year and the critical role that technology innovation played and will continue to play. When up against obstacles, we tend to think more creatively, fueled by a greater purpose, which leads to breakthroughs. And there's no question that the pandemic was clearly a catalyst for innovation. We saw that across groundbreaking advancements in science with the vaccine developed and distributed in record time, with low or really no touch purchasing of almost anything, and doctor appointments mostly being conducted over video conferences like this one. In a recent study published in ZDNet, it was estimated that spend on technology is expected to grow 70% when you compare to 2019 and when you compare it to 2021, 70%. I think that speaks to the critical role that technology plays in shaping our futures and the opportunities that it presents for each of you. Dixie, over to you to share some real world stories.
Thank you, Kelly. And I just have to say I'm really excited to be here with everyone today. And as Kelly said, technology really is part of everything that we do. It's really been the driving force but behind so much that we've seen this year in terms of innovation and thought leadership brought to solve problems. And probably one of the most prevalent areas that we've seen technology come alive is in solving COVID-19. And as we look at this, we talk about the fact that scientists moved at rapid pace to bring a vaccine forward, and yet there were significant issues associated with how to actually distribute that vaccine, and also how to keep track of administering the vaccine. And as you can imagine, it's a very, very complex supply chain when you think about local governments that are involved and the healthcare administration and pharmacies, and that's just to name a few of the different organizations that come together in the supply chain to actually deliver the vaccine. And so if you think about all of these organizations coming together, they all have different processes, they have different systems that they interact with, and that really further complicates how things move through the supply chain and how you actually track it. So technology is really helping to make sure that the process is more transparent so that it's really easy to see where and where the vaccine is in that supply chain and to share that information. We here at IBM are teaming with Moderna to develop a smarter way to manage the vaccine distribution. We will be using AI, blockchain technology, hybrid cloud technologies to create an open and standard approach, one that is really technology-based and that will provide clear line of sight to where the vaccine is anywhere in the supply chain. And so that will give us information to know, is it stuck in customs? Is it en route to a hospital? Is it ready to be administered at a clinic? And that is all really, really vital information for us to know. And as I said, technology is at the core of solving that supply chain problem. So now another great example of this, we talked about Moderna, is really looking at making vaccine management smarter. We're also seeing many states and government agencies looking for ways in which to safely and securely allow people to share information about their healthcare records and about their vaccination status should they wish to share that. And what I'd love to do is just to show you a video of what we're doing today to work with some of our customers around this solution. So if we could, we'll go ahead and show the video. Thank you. And this is just a great example of how a team is coming together really quickly, applying technology to solve a problem. And that problem is really to help organizations open back up, to help people get back to the things that they love to do, things that they have missed doing during the pandemic, whether that's going to a sporting event, going to an amusement park, or being able to work in an office. And this is just, you know, how technology comes alive. And I think it's a great example of things that we're working on.
Yeah, Dixie, I would add on that one. I was speaking with someone yesterday who was on this team that developed the digital health pass. And she was just citing just the power of teamwork and how they came together and built a plan and realized they needed to develop it in less than 30% of the time that we would have normally taken to do something like this. And she said they just were fueled by and so motivated by this would give people an opportunity to get back to living their lives and doing things that they enjoy. And she said it was just incredible what a diverse team could do to come together and really build something in record time because they knew and really felt strongly about the greater purpose behind the work they were doing.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it is that sense of purpose that really drives so many of these great solutions. And now I'd like to just share another example of how we are really helping our customers think about how to solve a business problem. So imagine at the start of the pandemic, travel was shut down. And so as you can imagine, a company like Delta Airlines, with travel coming to an abrupt stop, had to think about a lot of different things. So one of the things they had to think about was where they were going to park all of those airlines and those planes with the shutdown of travel. They also had to think about what were they going to do during this time to really take advantage of the situation. And as they were really looking at their business, looking at how they were servicing their own customers, they wanted to take advantage of this time and look at how could they modernize their applications, how could they look at ways in which they could leverage cloud technologies to really improve the way that they were servicing their clients. And as they looked at that, we've been working with them during this time to modernize hundreds of applications that deal with baggage tracking, that deal with ticketing and troubleshooting and landing planes. And throughout that whole process, they've been really able to think about how they want to reinvent their airline coming out of this pandemic. And I think that's just another great example of leveraging technology to solve a business problem, to take advantage of something that you could look at as a big obstacle and really turn that into a benefit to an organization. And again, that just like the other examples, this is all underpinned by technology and by thinking about how to solve a business problem. And so Kelly, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Dixie. Playing a role on projects like those that Dixie described can be inspiring and even life-changing. So you may be wondering, what can you do to make that happen? We believe that working at the intersection of business and technology requires both hard skills, in other words, skills that are job-specific capabilities, and soft skills, which enable you to be part of a team and to really make an impact as part of a team. So let me start with the hard skills. Clearly, having technical skills today is increasingly important to really unleash the power of technologies like artificial intelligence, cloud, and emerging technologies like quantum computing. Being analytical is also super important given the role that data and drawing insights from data plays in decision-making and problem solving, like those examples that Dixie shared. But moving on to the just as important soft skills. Problem solving and providing great human experiences requires creativity. Experience is everything. Think about your favorite apps and why you use those over other apps. It's really all about experience. Naturally, bringing people together, inspiring others, and leveraging the power of a team, in other words, having really strong leadership skills, is also super important, as is being a strong communicator. Last but definitely not least, it is so important to be collaborative by both seeking, but also respecting, appreciating, and listening to different points of view. It always leads to a better outcome. We really think it's a blend of these skills, these 6 skills on this page, that positions people to thrive in careers in technology. The opportunities today are almost endless, and the work, as we've described today, can really truly make a positive impact on the world and in people's lives, as exemplified by the stories Dixie shared. Dixie, did you want to share any final thoughts before we take some questions?
No, I love the idea when you think about the skills that we're building and that we're looking for. It really is that blend of the softer skills with those technology skills. And I would say right now, just the kinds of people that we're bringing into organizations, these are exactly, kind of in the hot spot of where we're seeing so much demand.
Ellie, Chris, do you want to see if anybody has any questions for us?
Thank you so much, Kelly and Dixie. There is so much to take away from your wisdom. Now we can move into our live interactive Q&A. Here's our first question. Who were your role models while growing up?
I'll start, Dixie, if that's okay. When you asked that question, the very first person that came to mind was actually my mother. She actually was in technology herself and was actually, during most of my childhood, an application developer. We used, she was working on even actually IBM mainframe systems, and our notepad next to the phone was were cards from that system. So I kind of grew up kind of inspired by, she went back to school after she had kids, completely changed careers. And I thought that was really inspiring, really motivating. And I know she loved what she did because she was solving problems. That's how she described it to me at the time, was just, you know, applying technology to solve problems. And it can be super, super rewarding. Since then, there's been so many people, but that's the first and probably most central person that comes to mind for me. Dixie?
Yes, I would also say my mother, but I'm going to maybe offer up another, which was my very first manager when I started IBM. And I would say he was my role model for a couple of reasons. One, he really focused on learning tough lessons through, you know, challenges. And he would constantly kind of push myself and the rest of the team that he hired on to really think about the challenges that we were facing and what we were learning from that, to really feel strong about taking that lesson and applying it. And then he absolutely believed in pushing you when you felt, you know, that you couldn't to accept that challenge. He would say, absolutely, you can. And I think that was one of the greatest lessons, and something that, as I look at helping other people, it's strive and don't be afraid of failure. So those are two things I learned from him.
Great answers, ladies. Our next question for you would be, what inspired you to get into this career, into the technology industry?
Dixie, do you want to go first on this one?
Yes, so I loved math when I was growing up, so I really had a passion for that. And when I went to school and looked at what I wanted to learn, at the time, computer science was an area that there really wasn't a lot of women in, and I thought, okay, that seems like a really interesting area. It applied math. It enabled me to go deep into data and to problem solving, and those were all things that I loved. I will also say that my side area of interest was reading, and so I got a degree in Russian literature, which was a little bit of a one-off from computer science, but those two things went together quite well for me.
I did not know that last part, Dixie. I learned something about you today. I love it. For me, interestingly, I was a biochemistry major for my first 2.5 years in university. And candidly, I also played volleyball in college. And when I was signed up for classes for my junior year in biochemistry, there was a lab that was required, and it was right in the middle of volleyball practice. And so for me, I thought, I need to go find a new major, basically, because I was not going to miss volleyball practice twice a week playing at Virginia Tech. So it's really interesting how something that simple led to me doing something that I love as much as I do. And it was interesting when I took a step back and said, okay, what majors could I change to that I would be passionate about and that I could still graduate on time? And it literally came down to a list of like 3 or 4 majors, right? And so I ended up choosing decision sciences at Virginia Tech, in large part because I read something that said you should go into computer science or combination of computer science and business if you like building things. And I grew up kind of a Lego kid. Maybe some of you were similar. And so I was like, oh, I like to build things. And so I switched my major to management science, decision sciences, and am so glad that biochemistry lab overlapped with volleyball practice.
I love that answer. Now, here's a similar question in relating to role models. If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Picking up on something that Dixie said earlier about learning from mistakes and failures, it would probably be that. I strove early in my career, maybe to an extreme, to always get things right, I'll put in quotes. And in actuality, in retrospect, embracing those moments where I or we as a team didn't get something right, and really making sure we reflected on it, talked about it, and learned from it, I think would be probably the one thing I would learn, that, just not only okay for me to make mistakes, but us as a team and for other people, as long as we take a step back and the time to stop and think about what did we learn from it. Because I do believe you learn the most when things do not go as expected. And we'll all get knocked down, figuratively and literally at times. But to pick yourself up, brush yourself off as an individual and as a team and learn from it is a really, really powerful learning tool that I wish I had appreciated earlier on.
And I would probably add to that as well, one thing that I wish I had been willing to take more risks. And, I think about, I grew up in a small town, and when I kind of had a view in my head of things that I wanted to do and the order I wanted to do them. And I think if I had been willing to really kind of break out of that and think, a little bit bolder, I just feel that I probably would have done a few things differently. And so I love what I'm doing. I think that risk taking would have been an interesting twist early on.
Great advice. And going off of that, giving advice to your younger selves, what advice do you have for our attendees? Are there opportunities for the high school students to get involved in tech? What advice would you give to our attendees of how to jumpstart their careers in the STEM industry?
Dixie, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I would say absolutely focus on, you're in school, and look at ways in which you can continue to select and accelerate in, whether it's math, it's science, looking at those technology skills. Now, I think one of the things that is great when you look at opportunities is you can go and get involved in different organizations that will let you get experience with development, coding. I've got girls, and I've kind of put them into coding camps and different things so that they can really get immersed into technology. And given that everything is driven by apps, they're excited about the opportunity to go out and test building an app for their phone. So I think there's different opportunities that you have now to really go out and experience technology in a different way, not just through the books and learning that you have in class. And I would just say embrace that and look for as many of those opportunities as you can.
I'll answer the question with kind of maybe 3 key points come to mind for me. And maybe going back to what I said earlier about both hard skills, the importance of both hard skills and soft skills. On the hard skill front, which Dixie just talked about in terms of the importance of really embracing and learning about technology, I would also say it's really important to become known for something. It can be a specific technology, it could be data science, it could be project or program management, but just come up with something on that hard skill front that you're the go-to person for, that people turn to you and ask you questions around. So that depth of expertise is increasingly important. So I would say, come up with what you're known for and what people turn to you for. But then on the soft skills side, I would say, and Dixie will probably smile when she hears me say this, but I just think there's so much power in having what I would call a can-do spirit, which is being both optimistic and resilient. And so, bringing that, we've got this, we can do this tone, mentality, attitude, approach to everything you do. And also being resilient, meaning understanding that we're going to get knocked down, as I talked about earlier, and the ability to get back up, learn from it, and carry on, try something new, try something different if what you tried first didn't work. So I think that can-do spirit is super, super important as well. And then last but not least, if I think back to what I have personally learned the most over the last year, and I think I always tried to do this, but just after everything we've all been through over the last 12 to 15 months, I think it's really important for all of us to bring empathy to what we do. Like really try to put ourselves in the shoes of others that we're on the team with, others that we're serving as clients and customers, and just bring kind of a natural empathy that makes us all better listeners. And I just think we're even better as a team, and all the problems we talked about today and the important problems that need to be solved in the world are best solved by a team, right? And I think we're all better and the team's more powerful when we all bring empathy to everything that we do.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know I will definitely remember empathy and resilience, and so will many of our attendees. We've talked about risk and hard skills and soft skills in your career. What is the best moment you've had while working at IBM?
Ooh.
There's been so many for me, to be honest with you. Do you want me to go first, Dixie? I'll jump in if you want, since you went first on the last one. It's not one project or one solution. I would actually say this past year, we had to shift from most of the work that we do. A lot of us have traveled. We're sitting with our clients side by side, with our team side by side doing work. And literally from one day to the next, everything that we did shifted remotely. And we work with teams around the world to do the work that we do. And the fact that we made that shift and we really didn't miss a beat. We continued to serve our clients and solve problems and help them in the ways they needed most. And most importantly, we lifted each other up every day through that process. Like the support system that the team that Dixie and I are part of provided to each other is probably actually my proudest moment, or just the thing that I've been a part of that I'm most proud of at IBM wasn't solving any one problem, but it's just the way we all handled and rallied together and showed the power of a team and the power of like caring for each other, supporting each other, being empathetic, asking each other, how are you doing? How are you really doing, right? And so I'd say just how we rallied and supported each other over the past year is probably what stands out to me most.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can, there's like an echo. I'm not sure I can add too much more than that, because I do think that was a fabulous kind of rallying. And then I would maybe expand upon it to say, we saw teams in different parts of our business rally together, not just to support each other, but to support their communities. And that, kind of expansion of this, not just within IBM, but really trying to make a difference to all people in need that were part of their communities, really made me proud to be part of this team. So I think that's a great example, Kelly.
Those are some wonderful moments, ladies. We have time for one final question. And my last question for you all is, how do we keep women in the STEM industry? We see a lot of times that people get involved in high school or college and the retention rate is concerning. So what would you say is the best way that we can keep these girls involved?
Would you like me to?
Sure, go ahead,
Kelly.
That'd be great.
So I think a few things that we're trying to do, and I know there are organizations that are focused on mentoring and really making sure that we are providing that mentoring and that support all the way through from you're in high school and you're now moving into to college and you're starting in your first career, is really making sure that we provide that support mechanism to ensure that these individuals feel like they've got the right role models and people that they can count on to help them continue to support them as they're looking at doing. I think that is a really big area and something I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer, Dixie. I think the thing that comes to mind for me most goes back to a little bit of what I just talked about, which is supporting each other. When I look back on my own career, I was probably a little too proud, for lack of a better word, early on. And I was like, I got this, like, I don't need help. And so even people who quietly are just doing their job, like reaching out and saying, hey, do you want to exchange ideas? How is this going for you? And just being supportive of each other. And that's something that, as I reflect back, I think I should have been better at earlier in my career. So now something I'm really passionate about is, even if someone doesn't ask for help, offering help, right? And it could be they're, they want to take a slightly different career path, or they want to learn a new skill, and just reaching out and saying, hey, what do you want to do next? Or what are you most passionate about? And then helping them on that journey, in ways as you described, Dixie. But I would just say proactively supporting each other more and more, I think will make a big impact, collective impact, if we all do that.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for speaking at our conference today. We are so grateful for everything you have done, and also for all of our continued support from IBM. It was wonderful to hear from both of you and to hear some incredible success stories of women in the STEM industry.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ellie. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
Today. Take care, and I hope our paths cross. Dixie and I are both on LinkedIn if any of you want to find us.
Sounds good.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelly and Dixie, for sharing your story with us. It is leaders like yourselves that remind us to constantly choose empathy and listen to our hearts when searching for our passions. Looking back at this year of planning and execution, we as a board couldn't be more grateful. As scary as it seemed setting off to plan our 4th annual conference, this year has been defined by tremendous growth in the size and passion of our team, in our impact, and in the industry that we are all setting off to impact.
To start, we have seen tremendous growth individually, with each team member becoming comfortable and confident in your own voice, ready to take the mic in a meeting and share your perspectives. We've also seen growth among our phenomenal attendees as you all share your voices and get involved with us year after year. We're so excited to have crossed the 2,000 mark this year of young women impacted by GirlCon over the past 4 years. Additionally, we have experienced growth internally with the introduction of the Board of Advisors and defining what the future looks like for our organization. One thing is for sure, for the years to come, we as a board are so excited to see and support this constant growth of GirlCon and grateful for all the young people that are a part of it.
Exactly. Another exciting area in which we have seen growth is simply in the depth and breadth of topics and discussions that we have at GirlCon each year. From animation to beauty to quantum finance to blockchain, it's abundantly clear and ever exciting that the impact that technology is having across industries is expanding rapidly and affecting us all. Never before have we had 38 breakout and professional development sessions and 4 inspiring keynote speakers, each making a unique impact in technology.
Absolutely. And we hope that you heard and saw yourselves in the speakers this past week and see yourself as the leader in technology that the future needs. The future needs each and every one of you. We hope that this past week you have found the inspiration, friendship, and the encouragement you need to move forward, knowing that regardless of where your passion takes you, be in that courtroom, a designer studio, or Capitol Hill, you have this sisterhood and mentors to support you along the way. Many of you have done this already, but connect with everyone you have met this past week over LinkedIn or email. We are here to support you every step of the way. Lean in on the people you have met, launch forward to the next adventure together, and live stream or carpool to GirlCon together next year.
As we reflect on the past 4 years at GirlCon, there are certain people and places that have made astounding impact. A very special thank you to Ramona, Alex, and the entire ISACA Chicago team, Susan Hallen, Fitz, Lauren Buetta, and of course, that Starbucks on Route 45 where GirlCon began. And the magic has continued to live on, would not be possible without the phenomenal dedication and motivation of our core team. Ellie, Vidya, Sneha, Prachi, Ali, Chris, and Zara. Proud has not even begun to describe how we feel when we see each and every one of you making your vision into a reality. We are inspired, humbled, and grateful beyond words can describe. And to our graduating seniors, Ellie and Sneha, we cannot see where this next chapter takes you as you go on to college.
The empowerment, networking, and inspiration that have all taken place this week would not have been possible with every single one of the brilliant attendees here today as well. We hope you continue to stay involved with GirlCon and support our mission. The empowerment, networking, and inspiration that have all taken place this week would not have been possible with every single one of the brilliant attendees here today as well. We hope you continue to stay involved with GirlCon and support our mission, whether that be through a donation to our cause, sharing a connection to a cool speaker for next year, or continuing to attend year after year. We hope you had a wonderful time at GirlCon 2021. And with that, we have some words from our incredible sponsors that made this conference possible. Thanks again, and see you next year, everyone.
On behalf of Google, we are so glad you could attend GirlCon 2021. We hope you're feeling inspired and ready to change the world. Thanks for coming, and we can't wait to see what you build next.
Hope you all enjoyed the event. The tech field has been super rewarding for me, and hopefully you will be able to share this passion with me in the future.
Thank you all for being here and participating in this event. Take advantage of all the sessions in the conference, and you are already one step closer to building your career for the future.
Good luck!
Good luck!
So here we are at the end of the conference. Who would have thought you could pack so much information and networking into just 3 days? Well, GirlCon never disappoints. And the best part is it doesn't have to end here. We want you to take everything you've gathered from this conference and use it as a building block for further empowerment and disruption within both the technology industry and your own lives. Thank you to everyone who attended, as well as our organizers. Your presence has made our community that much more supportive and that much stronger. We came into GirlCon 2021 as individuals. Now it's time to go forth and take on the world as one. We hope to see you again next year.
Hi, everyone. On behalf of CME Group, thank you for attending the 4th Annual GirlCon Conference. I hope you had a wonderful learning week, networking, and found inspiration in the breakout and professional development sessions. At CME Group, it's important to support our future female leaders in technology, and we are so happy to support this conference. Other ways CME Group supports future female technology leaders is through our internship program. CME Group's technology department continuously looks to identify and attract diverse future talent. I hope to be able to work with all of you in the future.
Hello, GirlCon. IBM's been proud to sponsor GirlCon since the beginning, and we've loved the participation this year in the virtual sessions. We were thrilled to see and hear the passion and curiosity from all of you. Thank you for attending GirlCon 2021. We hope we've piqued your interest, and we hope to see you in the future impacting the world. Stay curious, keep exploring STEM. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it is Lauren Buetta again with Girl Security. We hope that you enjoyed this year's GirlCon conference, and if you attended our session on tech and disinformation and have any questions, you're welcome to follow up or reach us at girlsecurity.org. It is such an important time for girls and women to be thinking about tech issues. Every issue that we confront from a national security perspective is somehow oriented around technology and critical infrastructure, including digital communications. And importantly, girls and women experience security in very different ways. And those experiences are critical to our understanding to problem solving and innovating in the future of tech. So we hope that you enjoyed this year's conference. We appreciate you taking the time to be part of this event, and we look forward to seeing you skyrocket in the future.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Scatoni and I'm the Membership Director at ISACA Chicago Chapter. We are so excited that we were able to sponsor GirlCon 2021 again this year. It's been our 4th year in a row now, and it really just gets better and better after each year. What truly makes the experience very special is you guys, the attendees. It was so incredible being able to interact with each and every one of you and be able to share the mission of ISACA Chicago Chapter and She Leads Tech Chicago. We're here as your local nonprofit organization to support you as a woman that's going to be pursuing a cybersecurity or technology career. So we really are looking forward to each and every one of you following up after the event. You can catch us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We look forward to speaking with every single one of you again, and we look forward to seeing everyone again for next year. Have a wonderful day.
From everyone at Cyberstart America, thank you so much for attending GirlCon 2021. It's been an absolute blast, and we really hope that you guys have taken away something from these past few days. It's been so nice to virtually meet you all, and we cannot wait to do it again. So thanks guys, and stay safe.
Thank you everyone for joining us for GirlCon 2021 this year. We are really excited that despite the virtual platform and all the various obstacles that we were able to gather together and talk about tech and all the various paths that you are interested in. I hope you learned something. I hope you feel really confident as you take the next step in whatever path that is that you may choose, and that you may consider Dame Street along the way. Our sponsors have been an incredible force in making this conference possible. Thank you so much to our sponsors for the closing video. We hope you have all enjoyed your week at GirlCon and wanted to conclude the conference by recognizing all the people who have made it possible. A special thank you to Linode, Sticker Giant, Disha & Co., Hirschman Cohen Law, Balsamic, Disney, Capgemini Invent, and Pega. We truly appreciate all that you have done for us. And now a huge thank you to our gold and partner sponsors, ISACA Chicago Chapter, IBM, BAM, CME Group, Jane Street, Cyberstart America, Girl Security, and IMC. To all of our participants, our 500 swag bags are all to the things of our amazing sponsors. Finally, thank you so much to the Google team for assisting us in navigating the live platform. And thank you so much to our fiscal sponsor, Bits and Bytes Cybersecurity Education. This conference really would not be possible without you.
Yes, thanks, Chris. Now for our speakers, from Lika Guhathakrita on the very first day of this conference, to Hope Goins, to Alyssa Millers, and finally, Kelly Chambliss and Dixie Adams today, these powerful women are impacting the next generation of female leaders. All of our keynote speakers have inspired us beyond words can describe. Your help, advice, and inspiration in this past week has empowered over 900 girls from all around the world. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to tell your story and leaving our 2021 attendees and team in awe and making this our best conference yet. Additionally, I wanted to thank anybody who had led a breakout or professional development session and anyone who led one-on-one sessions or coffee chats. Your guidance and insight has empowered our attendees to fearlessly pursue their passions.
Thank you, Allie. I'm so grateful to have been a part of this team and do this along with so many other amazing women that are a part of this incredible conference. This experience has been so amazing. And before we leave, I just want to say a tremendous thank you again to our Google team. This conference would not have been possible without all of you. I want to thank Christina Erst, Julie Barrier, Lindsay Wishart, Kaylin Melbourne, Allison Wagner, and Manisha Shah for your continued support and dedication to GirlCon. You are so helpful, inspiring, and I truly look up to all of you. To our tech support team of Lauren Walker, Sarah Putz, Dawn Patterson, and Terry Nguyen, we thank you so much for all of the work you have done this past few days to make these live streams possible. Thank you for working with our team throughout the past months to make all of our dreams come true. We have learned so much from you and are so incredibly honored to have had you throughout this week. I just want to say a final thank you to Google, and we hope to continue this partnership in the future. I hope everyone enjoyed GirlCon 2021, and we cannot wait for GirlCon 2022.
Thanks, Prachi. And now to our wonderful attendees, you all. We can't thank all of you enough. We hit some big milestones this year, with over 900 attendees from more than 30 different countries around the globe. GirlCon is dedicated to each and every one of you, and without you, there would be no GirlCon. Every DM, every email, every screenshot of your social media posts we received have brightened our days. Each one of you have such unique and inspiring stories, and seeing all of your enthusiasm by participating in the different social media challenges, connecting during one-on-one mock interviews or resume reviews, or even coming to our networking session today really showed your dedication. I urge all of you to stay connected. Don't forget about us and each other after today. Please stay in touch, email us about what you have been doing, add us on LinkedIn, follow us on our social media. And if you'd like to be part of our team, we will be sending out our team application this year in November, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you all so much, and continue to #TakeTheMic always and forever.
And shout out to our design team, PR team, logistics team, and sponsorship team for working so relentlessly throughout the past months. All of you are such amazing people with great minds, and we are so grateful for all the hard work you put into every task, as well as our ambassadors who have been there every step of the way to support this initiative and our incredible team.
Now, we would like to thank our amazing co-directors, Ellie Goldsmith and Vidya Bardwaj, for all of the days and nights they have put into making this conference a reality. Regardless of all these stressful moments and late night calls, the two of them have been so resilient in pushing to make GirlCon bigger and better than the years before. We are eternally grateful for you both.
Last but not least, to our Senior VP, Sneha Mohan, your vision for GirlCon and passion to make it the best yet has truly inspired the rest of us on this team. We really are going to miss both of you and Ellie next year, but we can't wait to see all the amazing things you guys do in college and beyond. Thank you for serving as inspiring role models for everyone on this team.
Now we are going to pass it on to our co-directors and Senior VP for closing remarks.
Thanks, Chris, Ali, Prachi, and Zara. First of all, wow, what a spectacular week this has been. I know I speak for the entire team when I say we are all truly grateful for the presence and enthusiasm of each and every one of you during this conference. And I'm also honored to be able to work with such an amazing team as well. The past 3 years have been such an inspiring and life-changing experience. Especially these last few months, it's been pretty difficult to say the least. With late-night Zoom calls, hundreds of emails, and schoolwork on top of that, pulling together this conference was not an easy task. So shout out to the entire GirlCon 2021 team. But seeing your engagement, each comment, each question in the chat, your Instagram stories, your reposts, meeting you at networking sessions truly made it all worth it and is what fuels us to run GirlCon every year.
These past 2 years on the GirlCon team have been absolutely amazing. I'm continuously honored and humbled to be on a team of 10 remarkable young women who constantly inspire me. One of the most beautiful parts about GirlCon is that the conference is entirely run by teenagers. Although this does sometimes pose a challenge, the GirlCon planning team works tirelessly to make this week both possible and incredible. I would like to thank both the board and the core team for all of your hard work and dedication to this conference. You all continually inspire me to be a better person and team member. Vidya and Sneha, I am so glad to have worked closely with both of you and cannot wait to see you both change the world. Attendees, I hope all of you were able to learn and grow this week. Whether that was in getting your resume reviewed or attending a breakout session, I hope each and every one of you learned something that you will carry with you post-conference. I cannot wait for the future of GirlCon and am so grateful for everything I've learned while being on this team.
I just want to say thank you all once again for joining us this year. We truly appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out of your summer to log in and join our event, whether that be for just one session or for them all. Though we were initially concerned with how GirlCon would work in a virtual format for a second year, we are so glad that it has allowed us to reach all of you, and we can't wait to see you all for another event of inspiration and empowerment at GirlCon 2022. One final thank you to our continuing GirlCon core team members, Vidya, Ali, Prachi, Zara, and Chris. This GirlCon season definitely had a rocky start with many calls at all hours of the night, but it was so worth it because it meant I got to spend more time with all of you. You are the most hardworking, creative, and resilient people I know, and no matter what the future holds, I can't wait to see you all take the lead and make GirlCon 2022 bigger and better than ever. And of course, Ellie and I will still be on board, so don't think you've gotten rid of us yet.
Thanks, Sneha. And Kyla, Ariana, and Molly, I hope we've made you proud this year. It's your vision and passion that makes this magic happen every single year. And Ellie and Sneha, it's been so much fun working with both of you. You both never stop inspiring me, motivating me, and pushing me to become the best version of myself. And I wish you both the best of luck in college next year. The GirlCon 2022 team will definitely make all of you proud.
Beyond these 4 days and the conference itself, there are so many ways to be involved with GirlCon throughout the year. The easiest and best way to stay connected is through our Instagram account. You can follow us on Instagram at GirlCon Tech. We have many opportunities throughout the year, such as Instagram Lives, account takeovers, and lots of posts. We also send out monthly emails with GirlCon updates, as well as cool opportunities with many of our sponsors and speakers.
Lastly, we would love to have many of you as GirlCon core team members. Applications for our core, national, and ambassador teams go live in late November. Make sure to check our Instagram page and your email often for more information on how to apply. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.